People in Las Vegas are fearing that this Albertsons and Kroger merger could be devastating to their community. Let's discuss. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to an early coffee rant with Dano this morning. I am drinking Joffrey's coffee. It is fantastic. One of my favorites down here in Orlando, Florida. It's going to be a lengthy discussion, so if you need to hit pause to get your coffee together, know it's a little early here for some. We have something we need to discuss. We said this was going to happen. Kroger and Albertsons / the merger, as they're calling it. I like to call it the Kroger takeover. So I was watching a video on Channel 8 News in Las Vegas, and they were having a committee about wanting to try to take this to court with the Albertsons and Kroger merger because they're afraid that this is a huge monopoly that is going to be taking over and people just aren't going to be able to afford food. This eliminates a lot of competition as to where they say they're trying to vote for competition. It doesn't say, a lot of companies have gone out of business from what I understand in Las Vegas. It's not just Las Vegas though, it's everywhere. This is happening everywhere. We're seeing more and more companies go under, and Kroger and Albertsons are apparently saying they're trying to compete with the Walmart grocery chain. Walmart grocery chain. Does that make much sense? How many people shop for groceries at Walmart? I mean, maybe online might be doing pretty good. I'm not really too sure. Maybe clothing and stuff like that. I don't see people shopping for a lot of groceries at Walmart. Unless it's a lot of things that, unless you're shopping smart, you're buying the things that are traditionally cheaper at Walmart than you're going to get at Kroger. I don't know much about Albertsons. We don't have Albertsons around here, but I do know Kroger very well. And I know that this is Kroger buying out Albertsons. They keep saying merger now. So I can assume that by them doing this is kind of like the smooth over. This is like them wanting to keep all their Albertson fans and people who've been loyal to Albertsons for years. We've talked about this in other videos. For what was going to take a couple years, looks like it's going to start at the beginning of 2024. Now, this is just one city, a big city, Las Vegas. A lot of people live in Las Vegas. They're getting together and communities getting together saying they already can't afford groceries. Now you're adding a big nation leader as of Kroger. I don't see them being able to vote this out. Kroger is buying out Albertsons. So whether you call it a merger or not, I don't see where it's going to really help. And I know it stinks, right? Because we don't want companies that are in control of everything. Because when that happens, yes, we have a monopoly set on groceries, and then they can make the prices whatever they want. And it could run companies out of business. That's why we always talk about, supporting your mom and pop stores and stuff like that. And I understand everybody can't afford to do that. But like this lady was saying in this video, it was, you could just look at it. It popped up on my feed. It's Channel 8 News, Las Vegas, city of Las Vegas. So the video popped up. You can look up Kroger, Albertsons, Las Vegas, Channel 8. If you type that in, that video will probably pop up. But I didn't really get much out of it other than grocery prices are overly unaffordable. This is something that's affecting everyone, not just one city. But now we're starting to hear about it. Now we're hearing about it on mainstream media. We're hearing, and it's the same thing it's always been. It's like we hear these little things. We hear a store taking over. We hear a store closing. Something replaces another. But this is something bigger than that. This is something that people are concerned because these are big, huge stores that they've been shopping at their whole lives. And they're afraid that with a Kroger-Albertson merger, that it's going to affect a lot of other stores. It's not going to affect Walmart. At least I don't know. I don't think so. Right? Oh, well, Walmart did close, over the last couple years, some 500 stores. So maybe it is worth worrying a little bit about. I just love how people on mainstream media and stuff put things to where it's not as big of a deal. It is a big deal. And if you didn't catch my sarcasm in there, I apologize. I think it's a major big deal. I feel bad for all of our viewers on the channel that have shopped at Albertsons for so long, and now the rug is being swept from underneath you. right? Because that is exactly what is happening. We are being told lies. These are lies. It's not, they keep saying merger, and it will be for a little while until that check clears. Once that check clears, you're going to be buying Kroger-owned products, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess Albertsons has their own products as well. Hopefully they continue that, right? We know that Mariano's, King Soopers, Food for Less, Dillon's, all these other Kroger-owned companies sell Kroger products. Ralph's, all these other ones. But prices, one thing that we can compare and one thing that we all know is that prices continue to skyrocket in all of these stores. Over a year ago, we started covering a lot of these different things on this channel. And the one thing we were comparing a lot was Kroger and Kroger-owned stores. And what were all the similarities that we've seen, at least on this channel, and what we've been talking about for a long time. All of our viewers who have participated in the comments of letting us know what these products are, how much they've been getting, and what are we really dealing with here? We're dealing with companies that are in complete control. The more and more one single company buys, like Kroger, the more and more control they are, hence creating a serious monopoly. A monopoly of groceries, a monopoly of food. Now, we have people on the channel that are always talking about growing their own food, shopping other places. I completely agree. We have to have competition. We have to think outside the box. We have to start looking at other areas. That is what we do on the channel here. This is why we visit stores that you may not agree with me. We have people that don't agree with me at shopping at Target for groceries. We have people that don't agree with me with shopping at Walmart or Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Family Dollar or Aldi. I can't please everybody. But for every video we do please groups that are shopping at these stores. It might not be the best option, but it is a lot of different options. I read a lot of comments and I go over a lot of different things that you guys talk about all the time. And I make sure that if there are issues with certain products, food shortages, things that are happening, that they are brought up in the channel here. I think as we go along, we need to pay attention to everything that is going on in major cities like this. Las Vegas is a big city. I'm really glad that they're coming out and trying to say something about it. Do I think they're going to be able to stop it? No. But I think it's good that we're talking about it, because talking about it is going to cause people to want to shop at other stores to try and find different products. The more we shop at other stores to find cheaper products, get creative in what we're doing, the more and more that's going to keep the competition going. Because it's when we stop shopping at some of these places, they're going to go out of business. And then we're just giving Kroger and Albertsons and all these other people involved all of our money. And eventually it's going to get to the point to where you will be spending $6 for that can of Swanson chunk chicken breast that we go over at Kroger all the time. Can't believe that they would even try to sell it for that. They must be selling it or it wouldn't be that price, right? Isn't it funny that we can go to any other store and it's $3.49 or $4 or $6 for 2 cans? That's just one example. That's one example. And we're facing other crises as well. Grains, wheat, flour, sugar. These things are going to have a trickle effect. They're going to have a domino effect on things. I come to you this morning to let you know this, because this is something that we have been talking about, that this has been leading up to this entire time that we've been going up. We always talk about being prepared, stocking up on things, of the prices, of the sales as we see them, of the things that you love and love to eat. We cover food on this channel mostly because everybody has to eat. Everybody. Now, I know sometimes I cover things like things that people don't agree with. You may not like microwave meals. There's people on our channel who can't cook. Not that they don't want to cook, that just can't. Maybe their living quarters maybe they don't have an oven. Maybe all they can afford is a microwave. Maybe all they can afford is microwave meals. Whatever the case, whatever it is, we cover it all. These are the things and the conveniences that have been given to us throughout our life now. And we have to pay attention to all of it. I'm not going to leave anybody behind. Never give up the fight for anything that you want, and always stay true to the things that you want to have in life, at least to be able to afford to get by, to make sure that you're able to provide for you and your family at all costs. Because the further we go along here, I fear it's only going to get worse. I've been covering these things for the last couple years, and I've said that, I've always been optimistic that things could get better. I don't know. Only time will tell. I know people give all kinds of reasons why these things keep falling, whether it's employee shortages or trucks or industry or just different things, competition. That's why we're mentioning this one today, because this is wiping out competition. This is what I feared when we first started talking about this about 6 months ago. People were saying that this was going to go for years. It's not. It's coming at the beginning of the year. It'll be here in 2024, and Kroger is going to spread out all over the place. Now, you guys know that I do, I can't talk too bad about Kroger without talking the good about Kroger as well. I always say on the channel here that Kroger is the most expensive place to shop for groceries that you can save the most money. That sounds strange, don't it? Especially to our new subscribers. But really it is. Because if you do the couponing, if you do the digital coupons, and you follow the sales as they go along, they know this. They're not stupid by any means. They know that they're going to have these cheap prices. Now, everything won't be cheap, right? Or not on sale all at the same time. But this is why we're talking about buying up the sales as you see them. Because even sale prices are getting more expensive. They're the ones that are slowly creeping up. We may see the same regular prices in one hand, and then the next week, during Kroger's next buy 5, save 5 deal, or buy 5, save $1 each deal, those prices, those sales are slowly creeping up. So as we've been going along here, when we find the best sales, that is what we're trying to focus on to bring to your attention. If you see anything in the stores, make sure you say something. Leave in the channel. We have a great YouTube family on here that communicates very quickly, because it's important and imperative that we report things quickly. Something that you're not seeing in the store. Around this time, 2 years ago, we saw significant shortages on things. I don't want to see that again, but we are seeing pasta. Pasta has slowly come back in Cincinnati. Now, we've been down in Orlando here for a little while, but when I get back, I will be trying to cover more of these things. Let us know anything that you see going away and not coming back right away. I mean, usually give it a couple weeks, maybe your second shopping trip's like, whoa, this is the second time I haven't seen spaghetti or some of these different canned goods or canned tomatoes. Doesn't matter what it is. And it doesn't have to be food either. When we left to come down to Florida, I was noticing a significant shortage on toilet paper. Now, we've been getting a lot of comments on shortages of toilet paper too. I was talking to somebody who's from Australia down here, and they said there was another run on toilet paper in Australia, that he actually went to the store and could not find any. Okay, so whatever it is, I don't know whether they're having trouble making it or something else. I really don't know. I'm just the messenger. I'm just telling you what I hear, what I know, what I can show you on the channel. A lot of you guys follow a lot of the different comments, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that everybody working together, because that is what it's going to take. It's going to take all of us working together to make sure that we're all staying on top of it. And don't forget to abbreviate your city and state. You don't have to type out your whole city and state. You can just abbreviate it, make it small in the corner so it's not too much of a nuisance. I don't want you to have to comment any more than you have to, but if you see something, make sure you say something, because our channel is growing. We're at 35,200 subscribers now. Our channel is growing all around the world. I thank you all so much for that. And you guys can thank each other, because if it wasn't for you guys, this channel would not work. Right? Because we are on an everyday basis to try to stay ahead of things. Right? Especially with food shortages. Now, I've been getting some more reports on food shortages, which we will talk about later. Sugar seems to be the number one right now. We're seeing major shortages of sugar all around the country. All around the country. People are chiming in on different sugar and stuff. Now, salt, I guess, has been an issue in a couple states. We haven't had any issues with salt, but that was mentioned. Somebody up in Michigan, one of our longtime viewers, and someone out in Arizona. Michigan and Arizona seem to be two states that keep chiming in on different shortages. Now, we try to keep up on these things as much as we can in our own city and state, but as we go along, we can even try to narrow it down or do some research to try and find out either what the source is or what is going on, right? Because when we were doing this before, when we saw a lot of different shortages before, we knew where it was coming from. We were following truck routes, right? I got so into, and I'm getting back to that again, and that's the trend of why I know it's getting bad again. Because we see the truck routes like down 70, right? We know that a lot of these trucks are carrying half loads. Why are they carrying half loads? Because they don't have the product. They don't have the product. Do we know what products those are? Well, it's sporadic right now, just like it was before. But eventually, we're going to see what's really going. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to see what's not coming in. We're told things with different recalls with baby formula and everything. Are you just not getting the shipments, right? I question pretty much everything these days. I really do. Like, even now when they say recalls and when they want to take stuff down and all this stuff, like, is it bad, or are you just not shipping it, or you don't have the people to ship it, or which excuse is it this time? And I don't want to make it like, and I know that's not for everything, okay? Like, some things are legitimate excuses. That you don't have the ingredients, you don't have the product. I'm not saying, hey, Kroger, why don't you have that cake I like? Oh, it's because you can't get vanilla, or extract, or you can't get the ingredients that you need for this. When I was at Publix the other day, I did notice that their bakery looked a lot smaller than it used to. I didn't say that in the video. I was talking to a guy who was telling me that a lot of the different cakes and stuff haven't come in, or the stuff for them to make them haven't come in. Because I noticed, like, the case was like half a case of cakes. Usually it's full. And my first thought would be employee shortages. You don't have the employees to make it, but I saw 20 people working back there behind the counter at the bakery, which is the Publix way, right? I don't see Publix being short of any employees. They don't have no now hiring sign, and I did look. Kroger has now hiring signs everywhere, and I swear they're not hiring. They're not. I'm convinced that they just have those signs out there. They're probably sitting on thousands of applications. You have now hiring signs everywhere, yet people in your deli call off, or they don't show up, or you didn't schedule, or are you just saving money by not paying people and saying, well, we'll let the deli meat sit for a day. Guys, it's getting real. It's getting real, and we have to pay attention. We got to pay attention to these things. We got to work together like we always do on the channel. Make sure that we are, I already mentioned make sure you abbreviate your city and state, because this is what we do. I literally follow different highways on where we're getting products and stuff. I-70 is a big one. 75, Highway 75. That's a main artery that goes from Toledo to Florida, down here, just past the Everglades. And then we have 95, which goes all the way from, New Jersey to Miami? Those are two main arteries, we're seeing things where apparently people have been having issues with produce in Florida. I didn't see any issues at Publix. I hope to visit another store or two while I'm down here. Me and Jessica have been pretty busy. But yeah, all of our Floridians out there, let us know what some of the products were. I know a couple of you mentioned there were some issues with produce. I know one of them is oranges. And how is that? I don't understand. I know the crops were bad, but it's like so yeah, a lot of the oranges that we were getting up north were California, but I don't know. It just seems like whatever oranges were coming out, you would think that they would be in Florida. It's kind of funny being in Ohio and mostly getting California oranges and not Florida oranges. I know some people have talked about a disease, some kind of green disease or something that has been going around with like people having to move further south in Florida to grow their oranges. That's been going on for a while. I don't know much about that, but I know some people were mentioning that. We got to pay attention to all these little things. Everything with the weather and all that stuff going on, that can affect stuff. We just need to make sure that we're watching and paying attention. Because we have these big companies that are moving their freight and trucks and everything else to do. We've seen Kroger trucks while we were down here. They have distribution centers somewhere. They have to because they're using their little refrigerated trucks. One of our longtime viewers orders from Kroger. There are no Kroger in Florida, but Kroger says that they can deliver pretty much anywhere in the country within 12. I think the Boost program, $59 gets you 1 day free shipping with the $59, and then the $100 gets you that same day sometimes. Or maybe the $59 2 day, or 48-hour shipping. I don't know how it works. It's a little different in Florida than it is in Ohio. That's why I'm saying, like, if you live in Cincinnati or Ohio, if you do the Boost program, you might as well just get the cheapest one because chances are you're probably going to get it that same day anyway. I don't know why it would take so long. But I don't know. Something to think about. People have been talking about gas prices again, too. Gas prices seem like they're starting to skyrocket. They're actually pretty cheap down here right now. I just saw gas for $3.32, and when I say cheap, I mean for what it's been lately. It was $3.69 a gallon in Cincinnati when we left. I just saw it for $3.32 down the road here. So I don't know if it's gone down a little bit, but we had some people chime in saying your gas prices are going up. So we need to pay attention to that too. But this thing with Kroger and Albertsons, I feel like this is just one. This is just one thing going on. Kroger can buy out whoever they want. I mean, they've got more money to do with whatever they own pretty much the entire grocery business around the country anyway. I'm not surprised by this move at all. I hope in the long run it works out for the better. I've always said that when we talk about Kroger and stuff, and I know people who don't like it, they don't like that they're doing this merger or Kroger buying out Albertsons and all that stuff, and I understand. The only thing that I think that is good about it is we'll be able to compare more prices around the country and be able to hopefully be able to dish out more savings, ways to save quicker for you than we have before. So if there's anything good to come out of that, I guess that would be it. But we look at this move from Aldi buying out Winn-Dixie. That's happening. I mean, you hear little rumors and stuff about different people trying to take it to court to make that not happen. And I understand with the Kroger and Albertsons thing that it could have some effect in some towns where if they don't want that to happen, it can't happen. Does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, because what'll happen is if the people don't want that store there because they're afraid of monopoly, which is happening anyway, if they're afraid that the monopoly is going to take over and they won't be able to find any other place to find cheap prices, well then Kroger's just going to wipe out the store. They're going to sell it. And I mean, that could be good, I guess, in a way for some people, but I don't know. Kroger could also just keep the land and say, well, we won't put nothing there. Now that would be kind of an ugly move on their part, but they may not want the competition. Their delivery system that they have created all over the nation here could be good enough to where they would just be like, well, all right, we won't build a store here, but you're not building another store here because this is our land, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't bode well either way. And I hate to say it like that, especially for the ones that don't like the idea. I don't like the idea, but I don't really feel there's anything anybody can do about it other than, like we said before, keep supporting other stores. Make sure that you're shopping at your other local stores. Don't just shop on Amazon. Right? Make sure you're visiting your other stores, and I know some people are against Target, some people are against Walmart, some people are against these other stores. Try to look at things that are a little bit outside the box, though, when it comes to being able to save. Walmart has the Great Value brand, and there's a lot of great value and great quality in some of those products. Target has the Good and Gather brand, which is pretty dirt cheap. Not dirt cheap, but cheaper than Kroger, and the quality's fantastic. And I know some people are against these stores and stuff, but you know what? In the long run, when it comes down to it, being able to provide for your family and saving money at the same time may get you to want to, shop some of these different items, or at least look to where you can save the most money. I'll tell you guys, it's crazy. It's a crazy world. These just like something every week. Some major news. It just hits every week with some of these things, and we just have to stay vigilant. Never give up the fight, guys. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.